Hello YouTube, welcome to Just Get It There. Previous video I talked about the new Trumbull, gave a little bit of a instruction on how to use it for fellow Crete drivers or Schaefer or even hunt drivers. But I wanted to show some people that get this on the instructions that we got from the shop when we first got it. Basically, it looks something like this. This is just a piece of paper they gave us with a list of stuff and how to log into the truck. That's page 1. Page 2 gives us more of basically of how to log in and all that fun stuff. And if that didn't work, we still had the same issues with it. They gave us this information packet, and if you notice on the bottom, it has a number for PeopleNet. A lot of drivers over the weekend had issues with the tablet being able to send messages, receive messages. I'm one of those drivers that was able. They finally got it, I think, working. I sent a couple of messages and they never received them. PeopleNet and Crete, the higher ups at Crete, we think we got the problem solved. I'm still waiting to find out to make sure that everything is truly working before I leave to go on and take any kind of freight, because I want to make sure that everything's working. If there's an issue that may need to be addressed, that the shop can do it. We don't know. The shop may or may not be able to handle it. So I'm just waiting to see. I sent a message at 8 o'clock this evening. I still haven't got a response back yet from them. From anybody yet. There was a delay on messages being sent and received, so I'm hoping me staying in the same spot, not moving the truck, will resolve that issue, so I'm not leaving anywhere until Wednesday. I will keep everybody up to date on this, along with everybody that I deal with Crete and that, and hopefully the problem is resolved. Hopefully it's just something, a little bug that got in the system, and it gets worked out. But on that note, I just want to talk a little bit about Crete. Like I said, I can't really talk on the Schaefer side because I'm not on the Schaefer side and I'm not on the hunt side. But on the Crete side, it's been pretty good. Freight, from what I understand, has been slow, but that's understandable for everything, so I'm just waiting to see what happens. And like I said, Crete to me has been pretty good to me. I haven't had really too many issues to. I can't really say anything bad about I don't really say things bad about people, because I was taught when I was growing up, you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. But on the most part, Crete has been very good at what they're worried. They want to make sure you're making money, which is a good thing and a bad thing depending on how you like to run. There's a lot of people that like to just go willy-nilly and go all out, where I don't like to do that. I like to run my clock where I'm making money. It's all about clock management when you're running and you're in these trucks. You don't want to start too early. You don't want to start too late. You need to find that sweet spot and get to that right time. If you start too early, you'll mess up your clock. If you got time on a load that you're delivering where you can start early and stop early, so you get a parking spot, that's a bonus. And like I try telling a lot of people, I can run my whole entire clock. I can run 11 hours and run my clock till I have no time left, then I gotta sit and do a 34-hour reset. Don't make any more money when you're doing it that way. You make the money while you got hours to run. Running your clock out in 5 to 6 days, you're not making any more money. You're basically making the same amount of money. If you run your clock 8.5 to 9 hours every day when you can, not saying you could, not in a perfect world you could do that, but not in a, but in a real world where you can't. If you run your clock accordingly with that 8.5 to 9 hours a day, you can run out what they call recap hours, where you can actually keep running and producing and making money. If you got to do a 34-hour reset, which is sit for 10 hours and a 24, and you got to sit for 10 hours in a 24-hour time period, that's productivity in miles that you're not getting paid. You're sitting to do basically just that. You're sitting and you're not getting paid. You're not making any money to do that. So you got to use a little bit of common sense when doing it to actually run your clock efficiently, and so that way you're productive and you're making money and you can keep rolling and keep rolling and keep rolling and making that money. That's what we're out here to do, is keep making money. A lot of dispatchers, it don't matter what company you work for. You can work for a mega carrier, you can work for a small person. That if they hire somebody that does not understand a clock and how you are limited on hours and you are limited by how fast you can go down the road, and they don't know the terrain or know the area, because a lot of your terrain, depending on how heavy your load is, takes effect on getting somewhere quickly. And if you're in a heavily dense area where there's a lot of traffic or there's mountains, the speed limits change depending on where you're at, and the weather, everything takes a factor in you getting somewhere relatively quick or just getting there. So you got to pay attention and know your terrain and know what's around you, and pay attention to the biggest thing, which is the weather and the time of day you're traveling. Nighttime, I don't really drive overnight, but I've done it. Depending on where you're at, traffic can be very minimal. And if you're driving during the day, traffic can be somewhat miserable and somewhat not miserable, depending on where you are. So pay attention to where your location is and where you're going. If you're not sure, ask other drivers that may have been in where you're going and you're not familiar with. Use Google Maps to take and see where you're going. You don't use Google Maps while you're driving a truck. That's why they make commercial GPSs like Randy McNally, Garmin. Sometimes your company will offer it on your tablet or on PeopleNet or whatever system you're using. Always use your atlas and every tool you got available around you. Google Maps will give you an idea of where you're going and how to get in there and what the facility looks like. Whether it be an easy one or a cluster muck, it's always good to know where you're going in the facility. And with the new Garmin GPS, I don't know if the Randy does, because I don't use Randy McNally at all, but the Garmin that I have, the 710, actually shows me a picture of the receiver. So if you have any questions, comments about anything, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as I can, because I am a working truck driver. Always do your due diligence, pay attention to when the load picks up, where it's going, and pay attention to your loaded and empty miles. They all come into factors on whether you can make that delivery on time and safe. You have any issues? Talk to the people, whether you're a owner-op or a company driver, or you're dealing with brokers, you're dealing with whoever. Let them know. Communication is key. A lot of companies need to learn that. Whether you're a company driver, dispatcher, or whatever, you need to learn to communicate with the driver, and the driver needs to communicate with you. But on that note, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.